information. They haven't been honest. They haven't been honest with their own people. They haven't been honest with their allies. They can't be honest about the planes that we shot down. They still to this day will not tell us who were the terrorists that were involved in the attack in Indian-occupied Kashmir. Surely one of the largest countries in the world with one of the most ambitious intelligence agencies in the world could at least identify these individuals who, according to them, crossed over from an international border, penetrated one of the most militarized borders in the world, and got so deep into their territory and conducted this massacre. They haven't been able to name them because that too, for whatever reason. And they've been unable to name a single terrorist that they supposedly targeted in these targeted operations within Pakistan. We can point to the civilian infrastructure, the schools, the dams that they attacked. We can show you the graves of the innocent civilians that they killed. But they cannot name one terrorist, either one that conducted the attack on their side or one that they targeted within Pakistan. If your campaign is going to be based on disinformation, if you're not going to be transparent, if you're not going to face credibility, then you will get the response that the US delegation has been, that the Indian delegation has been receiving internationally. If anyone has any climate-related questions, I have two very able climate experts on my left and right that I'm sure would be...
Sir, if you permit, our correspondent from ARY, Nadeem Bhatt, wants to ask a question.
उर्दू में ही कर ले.
ठीक. जनाब चेयरमैन, आपकी क़यादत में पाकिस्तानी पार्लिमानी वफ़द इस वक्त ब्रसल्स में है. यूरोपीय यूनियन के साथ पाकिस्तान के ताल्लुकात हमेशा से अहम रहे हैं, ख़ास तौर पर जब बात दहशतगर्दी के ख़िलाफ़ पाकिस्तान की कुर्बानियों की हो. क्या आप समझते हैं कि यूरोपीय यूनियन को इन कुर्बानियों का मुनासिब जो है इदराक है, और क्या आप इस दौरे के दौरान मसला कश्मीर और गज़ा में जारी इंसानी हुकूक़ की खिलाफ वर्जियाँ और ख़ित्ते में अमन व इस्तेहकाम के हवाले से कोई मस्बत पेशरफ्त हुई है? आप इस दौरे को पाकिस्तान के सफारती महाज पर किस नज़र से देखते हैं? थैंक यू वेरी मच.
जहाँ तक पाकिस्तान की कुर्बानियों की बात है, मैं समझता हूँ कि बहुत ज़रूरी है कि हम बार बार याद दिलवाएं. He's asking me, does the international community appreciate the sacrifice that Pakistan has given in this war on terror? So in my own answer, I'm emphasizing the importance of continuing to remind the international community that Pakistan was and still is the frontline state in the fight against terrorism. We have so far lost 92,000 lives in this fight. Still to this day, the single largest number of terrorist attacks anywhere in the world are in Pakistan. The single largest number of victims to terrorism anywhere in the world are in Pakistan. The terrorism that we face all over the world is a direct byproduct of the first Afghan war. After the second Afghan war, Pakistan has seen an exponential increase in the number of terrorist attacks on our soil. Currently, it is the bloodiest year in Pakistan's history when it comes to terrorism. It is not a question of do we want appreciation for sacrifice. We want cooperation, coordination to deal with these terrorists. Just because the international community up and left, it doesn't mean the issue of terrorism has ceased to exist in the region. We used to have all of NATO in our region fighting this menace. Now Pakistan stands alone. And we're being blamed for the actions of terrorist organizations. So it's very important that we're here to engage the international community to continue our coordination and cooperation on this front. जहाँ तक गज़ा का, फ़लस्तीन का, ये सारे इश्यूज़ की बात है, ये हम मुसलसल उठाते रहे हैं. ख़ास तौर पे जहाँ यूनाइटेड नेशंस पे हमारा अपना मीटिंग में जो कि बुलाया गया था कश्मीर के हवाले से, उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में भी हमने एनी अदर एजेंडा आइटम के सूरत के नुक्ते में फ़लस्तीन का एम्बेसडर मौजूद था, उसने भी अपना बात की और हम सब ने उसका एंडोर्स किया. और हाल ही में जो ईरान और इसराइल के दरमियान जो जंग छेड़ा गया है, उस पे भी पूरा डेलीगेशन ने कल भी मज़ाहमत किया है, आज भी हम मज़ाहमत कर रहे हैं.
Hafiz Unib.
Sorry, with the permission of the chair. The delegation also enlightened the UN members and the US congressmen, senators, even in UK and here, that India has been acting like a rogue state. What they are doing in Kashmir, what they are doing to the Muslims, what they tried to do with the Muslims of Pakistan, and apart from that, my Sikh fellows sitting here, India has been on a transnational killing spree. They targeted one Sikh leader in Canada, attempted on another one in USA, and tried in Australia, as well as they have targeted many Pakistanis on Pakistani soil. So they have been acting like a rogue state, and the world must notice that, and I believe that world has noticed that.
We will have a last question from Hafiz Unib.
Unib Rashid, contributing for Jang and Geo from here. My question is, I'm in 60s, a born Pakistani, but in this context, I want to know from a young leader from Pakistan, India doesn't accept any mediation, and its approach to resolving issues is unilateral. Do you see a solution to the Kashmir issue in such a situation?
I believe that the people of India want peace. I believe that the decisions of the Indian government have left the Indian population less secure, not more secure. In that context, absolutely, India is sustaining and maintaining the policy of unilateralism, but I don't believe that policy can last. Ultimately, they will have to come talk to Pakistan. They can't wish us away. We will forever be their neighbor. We have joint challenges. The issue of climate change for the rest of the world is a different matter. For the people of the subcontinent, for India and Pakistan, this is the challenge of our generation. We will be unable to fight this menace alone. As you may be aware, Pakistan has already been declared the most climate-stressed country by Greenwatch this year. We were anyway amongst the 10 most climate-stressed countries, 10 most water-stressed countries. We're going to deal, just like the entire international community is rightly concerned about the melting of snow and ice in the poles. India and Pakistan need to be just as animated about the potential, the imminent melting of the largest collections of snow and ice and anywhere else outside of the South and North Pole is in the Himalayan region. We have to deal with what are we going to do? How are we going to save future generations for the consequences of this crisis? There's so many other issues. If we're going to continue to be unilateral about it, you can't unilaterally tackle climate change. You can't unilaterally threaten the water supply of an entire population and expect that to be a position you can sustain. India will have to come and talk. It's better that they come and talk sooner, rather than allowing these issues to fester, to create more problems for the both of us, and then for us to come and talk when it's too little, too late. Let the Climate Minister.
Look, I think to its own peril what India has done is taken the right of all lower riparian countries of the world to have access to water. It's not just about Pakistan and India anymore. India has set a new rule that people who are living in the lower riparian, they don't have right to water. But we are not the only country which is lower riparian. First of all, India herself is a lower riparian country to another country. What if they choke them of their water? What about the rest of the world? What about the African countries? What about the Latin American countries? What about the European countries? Does now every upper riparian country has a right to choke the lower riparian countries of their food security, of their drinking water? So India herself has internationalized this issue. So now this issue is no more Indian and Pakistani. Now is the issue of 70% of the countries of the world which are lower riparian. And they will all have to rise, because if this precedent is set once for all, it doesn't just apply to Pakistan. Pakistan and India have a treaty. Most of the lower riparian countries have no treaties. So in the absence of that treaty, with this new rule that India, unilateral rule that India is setting, what is going to happen to the rest of the world? Not just us. So the entire world shall rise now. India herself, through its arrogance, through its hubris, has internationalized this issue.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
It's been a
Excellency.
pleasure engaging with all of you.
Thank you, Excellency, with your permission.
और सफारतकारी से ही मुमकिन है।
Threshold.
ब्रसेल्स में पार्लिमानी वफ़द के सरबराह और चेयरमैन पाकिस्तान पीपल्स पार्टी बिलावल भुट्टो जरदारी न्यूज़ कॉन्फ्रेंस कर रहे थे। उन्होंने कहा कि कश्मीर समेत तस्वीया तलब मसाइल का हल मुज़ाकरात और सिफारतकारी से मुमकिन है। ब्रसेल्स में बिलावल भुट्टो जरदारी ने न्यूज़ कॉन्फ्रेंस करते हुए ये भी कहा कि मैं अमन का ख्वाहा हूँ और अमन का पैगाम लेकर आया हूँ। पाक भारत कशीदगी के बाद वज़ीर आज़म शहबाज शरीफ ने वफ़द तकमील किया था और उन्होंने ये जो वफ़द बनाया और उस जंगी हालात में जिस तरह हमने अमन का दर्स दिया, अमन की ख्वाहिश का इजहार किया, वो काबिल दीद है और आज आपको यहाँ पर अमन का पैगाम लेकर ही यहाँ आया हूँ। बिलावल भुट्टो जरदारी ने कहा कि मसला कश्मीर और दहशतगर्दी का कोई फौजी हल नहीं है। पाक भारत कशीदगी के बाद वज़ीर आज़म ने जो वफ़द दिया था उसी वफ़द को लेकर आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। भारत पानी को हथियार के तौर पर इस्तेमाल कर रहा है। ब्रसेल्स में पार्लिमानी वफ़द के सरबराह और चेयरमैन पाकिस्तान पीपल्स पार्टी बिलावल भुट्टो जरदारी न्यूज़ कॉन्फ्रेंस कर रहे थे।